5 of our members present today. And so at this time, I'd like to have our members, just as we do a roll call, and we will also... Should I repeat that? Good evening and welcome to the July 14th meeting of the College Park Business and Industrial Development Authority. The time is approximately 6:33. I am Jamel McKenzie, your chairman, and we have a quorum consisting of 5 of 7 of our BIDA board members. At this time, I would like to have each of our members introduce themselves as we complete roll call, followed by any staff or visitors that we have present this evening.
Good evening, City of College Park. My name is Celissa Jefferson. I'm your vice chair representing Ward 4.
Hello, Lisa Parker, BIDA board member.
Anita Brown-Cadis, representing Ward 3.
Ken Allen, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, staff. And
Dean Lee, BIDA attorney.
Tasha Hall Garrison, Acting Executive Director for Clearly College Park.
Sabrina Beasley, Administrative Assistant, Economic Development, Assistant Secretary Treasurer, BIDA.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, we're going to move on to item 2, which is the review and approval of our June 9th, 2022 minutes. Is there a motion?
I move to approve.
All right. Councilman Allen is approved. Is there a second?
A second.
All right. Seconded by, that was, okay, Lisa Parker.
Lisa, yes.
Okay, those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, if there are any opposed? All right, then I believe that that is all of us. Thank you so much. Let's move on. Our additions, deletions, this is item number 3. Additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda.
So, Madam Chair, I would request to remove item 8A out of executive session.
Okay. Item 8A, thank you. Acting Director, Tasha. Also, we do have an executive session also to add on to 8. This would actually, could replace 8A, which would be litigation.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there a motion on the floor that we remove item 8A, an executive session, and replace it with litigation?
So moved.
Moved by Member Cadis. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by our Councilman Allen. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That is, okay, okay. And those opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed. Okay, so we have 1 opposed and 4 ayes. The motion carries, and so we will remove item 8A from executive session and replace it with litigation. All righty, moving right along to new business, which is item number 4. This evening, the College Park Reunion is requesting the use of the Jamestown property to celebrate their 20th reunion, which is being held on September 3rd, 2022. The property is under contract and is in due diligence period, and so basically we want to see whether the board will allow this property to be used for this function. Acting Director, did you have anything you wanted to say about that?
So this is really to get the approval of the body on if you would be willing to allow the use of the property. The property is under contract but will be in due diligence at that point. I do not anticipate it closing prior since it is in due diligence, but if it were to, let's say, move to another date, then it would be at the discretion of that property owner. If the body does give approval, we will be forwarding this to Mayor and Council for review on the August 1st meeting. The group is College Park residents, historic residents. They are requesting to utilize the Phillips Park, and this property would be in support for parking as well as additional space. We as city staff may also make some recommendations as far as the requirement for trash as well as police, but the use of the property would be at the discretion of the body, and as well as there's any other conditions to add for that as well.
Okay, is there any discussion on this?
I would
Is
like
there a
to,
motion?
I have a question. Yes.
Now go right ahead.
Well, I was just looking, if this is indeed the actual application, there's a couple of things in here that I would add for clarity.
Yes.
You know, specific times, who's being requested, you mentioned the dumpsters, et cetera, so it is lacking in some specificity. So
Yeah.
moving forward, I would ask that.
Yes. No problem. And I'm not gonna bring it up on here, it is in the packet only because I saw it shares their personal contact information. But there were some issues that I had as well, just addressing, historically traffic. But that's something that I feel can be mediated with the applicant. They are very, amenable. So I think it would just be more of a conversation between the various departments if allowed, so that we make sure that this doesn't impact the surrounding area.
I just have,
This is the
Councilman?
reunion they've had for years and years. But the question I have, if it's under contract, we still, since it hasn't closed, we can still let somebody, okay.
All right.
As long as it doesn't interfere with the due diligence, that would only arise if the surveyor was out there, or pick the day that they were there, that's, if you're back from the buyer. But until then, as long as it doesn't interfere with it.
Vice Chair Jefferson, did you have something?
yes, I just had a question in reference to that due diligence with, the, developer. Will we provide notification to them?
Yes.
To let them know? Okay, great.
Yes.
And then my second, question, I mean, this event has taken place for years. It's just, absolutely phenomenal every time I see it every year. And it just seems like it grows, and it's such a great, community event for those, for their reunion or homecoming. My only question is, since it is, you know, BIDA approved event, you know, with any new business, we do have like groundbreaking ceremonies or some type of coverage. Is it any type of media coverage that can be provided to the community, because it is such a phenomenal community event and BIDA approved?
No problem. So I've noted that. I'll get with the new director of communications and make that
Okay.
request to see if we can get some documentation, because this will more than likely be the last year that they're able to hold it on this
Exactly.
specific location. So yes, ma'am.
Exactly. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, and I was going to echo that this is an event that they have been doing for 20 years, and of course, because we are in contract with that particular property, this is probably the last time that they would be able to use it. And being the date is 9/3, it would be really difficult for them to find a location otherwise. So, of course, my recommendation, I'm not making a motion, but is that we do approve this application, and this gives them the opportunity to take the next 12 months to find another location. So is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, moved by Vice Chair Jefferson. Is there, would like to second that?
May I ask for clarification? Is there a cost associated with this, or would it be free of charge due to the usage? I just want to make sure that I relay the correct information, and it is up to the body.
Then I have another question. Do they do pay for the permit required?
Yes, they would
Okay.
pay for the
Great.
spaces used in the park, but the BIDA property is separate of that. But we can say, because they are renting space from recreation, that we can include it that way.
Got it. Okay.
The group is going to pay for the police
Yeah.
services. As long as they're
Yeah.
paying for the services, I think this is a community event
Yeah.
that is celebrating our community. I don't have an issue with that being, there being no charge. As long as they pay whatever the fees are that are involved, yeah.
And the cleanup
Yes.
is done. Okay.
Take I mean, there'll be a
Yes.
contract, follow the
Yes,
contract.
exactly.
If not, then we'll have to deal with that, but, okay. All right, so let's go back. There was a motion made
Okay.
by board member, was that Vice Chair?
Yes.
Okay, and we didn't have a second, I believe, so who would like to second that?
Second.
Okay, thank you. It's seconded. Those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, it is unanimous. The ayes have it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Item number 5 is our GICC update. Mercedes is not actually here to give this to us, so I would just recommend to board members to read through the packet if you'd like to take a moment right now to peruse it. If you have any questions, we could try our best to answer. If not, this is something that we can have FYI for FOI for our information. Okay. I guess I can read some just so the general public can be aware of it at the meeting. The cover page of Mercedes Miller notes that June was a very busy month for the GICC with several banquets. The operating revenues for the month were $829,501. And the good news is that the year-to-date revenues are $7,537,702, which is 104% of the original adopted budget. So the total operating expenses are at 93% of the budget. And so that's good news. We've been hosting the Atlanta Dream Games there, which has brought in, for the month, over $249,000. And it's looking good. So if Mercedes was here, I would say, great job. Keep up the great work. Okay, let's move on to economic development reports. Is there anything?
There's no report. I'll provide updates in
All right.
executive session.
Okay, and we know that we'll hear more at another time. Okay, number 7, are there any other issues that need to be discussed on this evening? Well, if they're not, then we're going to move on to item 8, which is executive session. So we'd like to take a motion to adjourn from this portion of the meeting and to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation and and real estate. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, thank you, Councilman Allen, and seconded by?
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Those in favor, please state by saying aye.
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 All right, and it looks like everybody is in agreement with that. So thank you so much, and at this time, we are going to adjourn this portion of the meeting and go into executive session.